What is up, guys, and welcome back to a very special video. So we're here bright and early at Dollywood for a special construction media tour. Have no idea what's in store for today. I know that they're going to show us off the new restaurant, give us some food samplings, I think maybe from that restaurant, but other than that, it is a blank slate. Have no idea what we got in store, so make sure you guys stay tuned through the whole video so you guys can see what's been happening during the off season. But if you guys are ready, I'm excited. Let's go do this. We are hanging out in the parking lot right now. We got about 30 minutes before we head into the event. They're already testing Wild Eagle, so making sure them coasters are up and ready for us for the season. Only got about 3 weeks left. March 14th for the pass holder preview day, and then 15th, that Saturday, is the official grand open. So make sure you guys are here. So currently we made our way over to the new parking lot that they've got going up here next to the Preferred. You can see they've got a lot of work done on it already. We'll zoom in here. And it goes back a good ways. Looks like it's got an exit way back there. So right now we are currently waiting for the event to kick off. You can see a lot of the media's here. There's Eugene, the park president. He's got all kinds of mics on, so he's going to be talking to us about what's going on. And then after that, they said we're going to be doing a lot of walking, heading through the park, and just kind of checking out and seeing what's going on in the off season here.
With the date, we ordered good weather for last Thursday, and it did not get delivered. So we thought it probably would be best to wait until a day where we might be able to take our jackets off after a while. So thank you again for coming and joining us. We're going to be able to do a lot of great stops along through the park so that you'll be able to see a number of projects throughout the park. It is our 40th anniversary season this year, and I think you'll see along the way there's a lot to talk about, a lot for our guests to experience as they join us this year at the park. The first thing that you're going to see is this parking lot, and it really will make a big difference for folks as they're coming to the park. We've got a few folks who have joined us. So we have Eugene Naughton, who is the president of Dollywood Parks and Resorts, Pete Owens, who is the vice president of public relations and marketing. We also have Neil Thurman, who is the vice president of park operations. He'll join us for most of the tour and talk to you as well as we go along. So first off, 40th anniversary season. Eugene, tell us about this project. This is one of the first things that guests will see a little later on in the year when it opens up. But why was this an important part of construction for the off season?
Well, Wes, thank you everyone for taking time out of your busy day to be here to celebrate the 40th anniversary. It's hard to believe that in 1986, Dolly Parton and Pete Hershen got together and made such a credible experience here today. You know, as we expand, we've become the #1 attraction in Tennessee and a commanding force in this industry, and it takes space to be able to handle the visitors that come here. In 2023, we actually ran out of parking 23 days of our operating calendar. So you think we're open 273 days a year, and we ran out of parking, and it's hard to believe. So for us, it's a real balancing act in making room for all the people that want to come see us. You know, a lot of times it's just like Easter Sunday. The top 20% of our attendance for the entire year comes in 20 days. So it's important for us to be able to serve our guests that want to come here in a seamless and easy way, and that's what this parking lot represents. And we operate on a 10-year rolling strategic plan, so we actually have master planned the rest of our parking expansion that will happen in 3 phases, adding a total of 3,000 parking spaces to our lot for future visitors.
And this is important to note. So we were supposed to be here Thursday. We had obviously weather, so you'll continue to see a lot of this construction going on as we go. So we're going to stay out of their way and just know that we may have to work around some things like dump trucks. But Eugene, tell us a little bit about at Christmas. We did have to close the parking lots for a little bit. This will help alleviate that problem. Can you kind of shed a little bit on that?
90% of our operating calendar is underneath the festival. Smoky Mountain Christmas actually is the award-winning industry experience for Christmas time, and a lot of people want to come and visit us. We're busier during Christmas than any other time of the year, which sometimes is hard to believe. But something like this, master planning the parking lot expansion, it's been underway for 2 years. It's at a cost of $7 million of investment to handle this first phase. It's extraordinary to think about the support our Hershon parent company gives us to be able to alleviate the pressure. And it's just important for us and all of the hosts that deliver the day here, never want to turn anyone away who wants to come and experience Dollywood Parks and Resorts and Dolly's life story, which we activate here. So it's going to be fun to be able to keep it open.
And you mentioned all the process of getting into the park and how over the last few years we have made a lot. You know, if you've been on these construction tours, we've spent a lot of time in the parking lot at the front gate with new security systems. Talk about that process. So as soon as the guest arrives on property, they are a guest and we want to host them with excellence, and how this goes to that as well.
You know, we oftentimes will talk about the guest journey, and we'll follow it from the time, actually, even before they hit the door. If you were to come several years before we changed the flow of the parking lot, there were a couple of real reasons to do that. One, from a safety perspective, we wanted to make sure that the flow of our trolleys and trams were separated from guest traffic. I think you probably remember visiting us during that time frame where human traffic and our trolleys were interacting, and it wasn't a very smooth process. So creating a loop for our trams and trolleys to operate, to be able to flow faster. You know, we had set a record in previous before we made the modifications. 3,200 people could cross our front door from the time that they entered the parking lot in 1 hour, and now we're up to 6,900 people. So obviously keeping wait times down allows a chance for our guests to get on property earlier, which for me is exciting because that means they're going to get a chance to see one of our shows and experience one of our world-class attractions and get extra value for their money that they're spending to come through the front door.
And Pete, can you speak just a little bit about, again, you know, Eugene said it starts before folks get on the property. Just talk about the efforts that we're seeing and the results we're seeing from folks really starting to visit from a number of destination markets that we have not seen until recently.
Sure, thanks, Wes. Well, I'll double click on a couple of things that Eugene said. Number one, it's very important to be able to have a rapid and seamless guest experience. So if you caught that, the changes that we've made over the last 3 or 4 seasons have allowed us to double the capacity, peak capacity, for us to get people into the park as early as we can. That included what we did with the Evolve security system, all the different technology upgrades that we've added to the guest process. And all that does is make your day faster and easier, and that's really what we're looking for. And that's one of the reasons that this is the #1 park in the U.S. for TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor is definitely it's an organic review service, and the folks that are reviewing Dollywood say it's the best experience within the theme park space within the United States. And it's because of the changes and the investment that we've been able to make. So where are those folks coming from? As Wes said, we have folks that maybe when you came to visit Dollywood 10 or 15 years ago, you might have seen your friends and neighbors from the Tri-Cities or Knoxville or maybe Greenville, Asheville, Spartanburg. It was very much a kind of regionalized park. Starting in 2018, we adjusted our focus and we started to bring guests in from large markets outside of that circle. Our top markets now are, of course, Atlanta and Nashville, but you see folks from you know, the Gulf Coast from Washington D.C., New York, Detroit, Chicago. They're coming from all around within about 1,000 miles, and it's really been a gratifying thing to be able to see the growth, both purposefully and organically, because they're having such a great experience here, experiencing what Dollywood does, and as Eugene said, really what Dolly wanted them to come for: true hospitality, a place where they can come with their families, feel safe, and make memories together.
All right. So as we mentioned, the parking lot will open a little bit later. It won't open right as the park opens, but it will be open this spring for our guests. So, do we have any questions while we're here about this project? All right. So, we are going to move from here back into the park, and we'll be walking the whole park basically. So as we go along, we'll make sure that we're trying to keep everything tight on time so that we can get you out of here in a respectable time. We also will have lunch, and we'll do a little entertainment show for you as well. That way you can really see the full breadth of what we'll have available for guests during the 40th anniversary season. So we have carts available if anybody needs a ride on a golf cart, but we'll start walking, and you'll have plenty of folks from our team around. If you have questions or need guidance as we go through the park, just reach out to one of them, and we'll kind of move from location throughout the park, and just stop us whenever you have any questions. All right, we'll start moving.
So we are now walking our way through the park to check out all the different construction updates. We're going to do a full lap around, so we'll get to see what they've been doing throughout the entire park. Maybe some surprises along the way.
Yeah, it means I got to complain. I try my best not to do. There's some work going on. See, I told you guys we find them.
So as we're going through our next stop on the tour is going to be up at the Celebrity Theater. They are redoing all the seats inside, so we're going to go check that out. And you can see there are vehicles all over the park. Has a very different vibe whenever the park's closed and they've got all the construction going on. And you can see they have got work going on a little bit everywhere right now. Well, that is a sight that I was not expecting to see. They've removed all of the seating in here, and it is a massive building.
Different than probably the last time all of you saw it. Obviously a fresh coat of paint, brand new seats, new carpet, just a complete refresh of this theater, and that's something that you're going to see, a continual theme throughout the park today is refreshing and new paint, new shingles, new roofs, new everything all throughout the park. And again, it goes to show the effort that we put into this time of year, a very short time frame of about 2.5 months to do. And Neil and I have been talking about this number the past few weeks. We're up to 114 projects that are taking place across the properties during this off season. This is just one of those projects. So if you take that number and put that into context of what that means throughout the park, a new roof may be one project, a new HVAC unit may be one project, a new parking lot is one project. So if you take that and you think about the work that our crews are putting in during this off season to continue to elevate that guest experience, it is very important. As Pete and Eugene referenced in the parking lot, TripAdvisor, those awards, they don't come just because, they come because of the hard work that everyone puts into making this experience what it is for our guests. So, Eugene, because of that, can you speak to the effort that we do put in to making sure we're listening to the guests and taking what they tell us and putting it into the projects that we have?
I think one of my favorite things to do while I'm here at work is walking the property, getting a chance to talk with our guests and see how their visit is going, and also getting a chance to interact with our host. I think all the answers are there to help us define our future. And you know, we're celebrating the partnership 40th anniversary with Dolly Parton. Obviously, entertainment is a big a part of who we are. It's a brand pillar for us. It's a part of our brand promise. So we have to make sure that we're delivering, on that to honor her, as an individual, but also to make sure that people that get a chance to see our award-winning shows are in the right space, are being taken care of, have the right seats, and this is a big step. I don't think anyone's ever seen celebrity theater without seats. It's kind of a fun look, but we're going to have to cure that really quick. And Neil's got a difficult job, along with Jason, to think about the idea that we closed just 60 days ago, and now we're tracking to finish 114 projects in those 60 days. That's a pressure cooker and a nice dance to go through, for sure.
Thank you. So we talked about Neil. He's a senior VP here at the park. Neil, 114 projects, and it really runs the gamut, from large to not quite as large. Tell us what goes in as we're taking that guest feedback to determine which projects we need to undertake within a given off-season. And Neil's only been here since June and has had a lot of things to deal with in terms of that. The water main break, we joke with him all the time. If you'll remember that, it occurred right after Neil arrived. And it's those things that happen that can happen that we have to be able to take care of. So these projects go a long way to helping with that as well.
Well, after that incident, I'm a big fan of looking at infrastructure and doing things we can do to be ahead of breaks. So we're doing a lot of work in the ground that you won't necessarily see, but takes care of projects that might be a problem down the road for us. We also look at the time. As Eugene mentioned, we close and then we open, and that's set time. So we got to think about all the projects we can get done in that time. And as you'll see on the tour, there are projects that will be much easier to do while the park's closed, and you'll understand why we're doing those projects now. The other thing we look at are what are the things that can really enhance the guest experience, because that's really what we want to do. So there's a lot of air conditioning units that are being replaced right now that I know our guests will enjoy come this summer. So a lot of those projects are taking place to really make sure the guest experience is as good as we can make it.
So I'll ask Neil, you have a lot of 114 projects. Is there anything you're nervous about seeing that we open on March 14th?
Well, Eugene mentioned pressure cooker, and you definitely feel the pressure, but I'm not nervous because we have the absolute best people in the industry working here. Our maintenance team is phenomenal, our project management team, the construction team, and frankly, all the departments supporting what's happening in the park right now are making it happen. It's fun to see this time of year and be part of it because really every different department's coming together to make the park ready to go for opening day. So not nervous, but feeling the pressure.
Awesome. Okay. Anybody have any questions about any of those projects that we have going on for Neil or Eugene?
The parking lot is big. I think you'll see Country Fair is a big project, what we're doing in the village, so you'll see that on this tour. Those are two big projects. And of course, the new restaurant we're building are probably the biggest projects we're doing.
Refreshing. She asked if there would be more seating. So we're just basically
Any other questions?
more seating. Will this room be ready to go by March 14th?
It will be ready to go on March 14th.
Okay.
Anybody else? All right, we'll move to the next location.
We'll take one more look here inside. This is the Celebrity Theater. All the seats are just being redone. They're not going to be adding new seating. It's just going to be refreshing them. And they mentioned there are 114 projects going on throughout the park. This being a big one, the new restaurant, the parking lot, and then we're actually going to go check out the Country Fair, which is supposed to have something really big going on down there.
The host building, it is not open to the public, but
Currently making our way over to the Country Fair side of the park. I'm actually very curious to see what they've got going on, and we know that they've removed a section of the games, but as far as that, that's the only thing that we've seen a glimpse of, and looks like we're actually going to be stopping right here next to Dog and Taters. Looks like they're setting up some little billboards.
Pit stop here on our way to the next stop. So many of you have requested photos for the 40th anniversary, or through the years you've requested, archival things that we have to share with you. You'll see the photo on the left is probably familiar to a lot of you. It's from 1985 when they announced that the park would become Dollywood. So Dolly always dreamed about having a park called Dollywood. I'll let Pete talk a little bit about that. So we've got a little photo op that will be here during the 40th anniversary season that folks will, give a little nod to that. So I wanted Pete to talk to us a little bit about that.
How about if I just come over to the other side? So, as Wes said, the picture that's over here was one of the first publicity images that the park put out after Dolly made the announcement that she was going to open Dollywood. Little tongue-in-cheek, but is exactly what she thought when she got to Hollywood the first time. She saw the Hollywood sign in the Hollywood Hills and immediately in her mind replaced the H with a D. And she was at Dollywood. And so we took this as inspiration to create a sign that will be right up here on the hill, which is also the place in 1986, May 3rd, 1986, when we opened the park for the first time as Dollywood. That's where they cut the ribbon and the balloons were released here, is on that hillside. And so it's going to be here on the hillside for our guests to enjoy as a great Instagram photo moment and just as inspiration to celebrate the 40th anniversary. There are going to be a lot of those little things around the park that you'll see when we open, a lot of little Easter eggs that's a tip to the first season, or there'll be icons for the 40th anniversary that you'll be able to use for photo ops with your family or other ways to be able to celebrate it. But it's funny because Eugene and Cindy McCormick, who is our VP of Guest Experience, and I were walking the park, and Eugene said, well, why don't we do that up there? And Cindy and I kind of looked at each other and said, okay. So she went about the work to get it done, and I think it's going to be a beautiful addition, and we'll see if it sticks around after the 40th, but I think it's going to be a big fan favorite for the folks that have been coming to Dollywood for a long time.
They're going to create an iconic storyboard for everyone to be able to read on the history of that event, and I think it'll be a nice touch point for our guests to catch up on history. But do yourself a favor, go look it up online and hear Dolly talking about changing out and getting this sign going. It's really a hoot.
And Dolly had two reasons for wanting to open a theme park in the Smokies. One, to invite visitors to come to the Smokies to experience the beauty of the area and to experience the warmth and hospitality of the people who work here. And then that was the second thing. She wanted to provide jobs within the area for the people who lived here. And I think now, 40 years down the road, we can see that she succeeded in that. So Pete, tell us a little bit about that vision of hers and how we are continuing to play that out year after year.
Well, I mean, that is the first thing that Dolly said. She wanted to create a place for her family and for the folks that live here in the area to work. 1985 in Sevier County was a much different place. There were a lot of attractions that were here, but a lot of those attractions closed at the end of the summer or at the latest at the end of October, and the folks that lived here full time that didn't snowbird in other places or go find work other places were here on unemployment. They were here on social assistance. And so the opportunity to create a place that would grow and could sustain more employees and, as she said, and a place for her family to work, Dollywood was the perfect idea for her. And I mean, it goes way back to when she was a kid that she thought that it would be a really neat opportunity to create, as she called it, a Smoky Mountain fairyland like Disneyland is, that she would call Dollywood in the Great Smoky Mountains. That's what she told Barbara Walters in an interview, and that was the impetus for she and the Hershens to get together and to create what is Dollywood now. And that vision of creating jobs has really exploded. We have over 4,000 employees now. A lot of them are year-round employees. You see them all around us as we're getting ready to open. But it really is a fairy tale come true for a lot of the things that you wanted to do. And it's frankly been a privilege to be a part of it for me for the last 26 years. Anything you want to add to that?
No, perfect.
Okay.
Well said.
All right. Any questions about any of the photo ops Pete mentioned, any of the 40th things that we'll be having in the park?
Can you Dropbox us that image?
Yes, I can Dropbox you that image. Remind me, and I will Dropbox you that image. And it will be here, so when you all are all back here in a couple of weeks for grand opening, this will be a good location as you're doing live shots and things like that. So think about that as well. So, all right, as we move on, we're going to take this path along into Country Fair, the lower path.
She was turning the park into Dollywood. This is a photo op they did. And then this will be the
We are crossing into the country fair section. And then this is where they've got some
construction projects going on down here already, as you can see. So you got some new trucks and flowers that going in.
Already, this looks a lot
Alright, so we are down here, and you can see big change right here in the middle.
So if you're like me and you've got kids, you spend a lot of time in this area of the park. And, I think Cindy and Eugene agreed that it was time to go through and do a little more refreshing, like we said. And what's fun about this area is behind us, and I'll let them explain, there are going to be a lot of new things for families to enjoy. A place like if you're like me and you got two kids who are running you crazy around the park, you can sit down for a minute, let them keep getting that energy out. So excited about that opportunity. Oh, we're losing our time. The wind always comes at the wrong time. Thank you.
Look, we're not mad about this weather, are we, guys?
No, we'll take it over what we would have had last week for sure. So this area does provide a lot of entertainment value for folks with younger kids. As you see an area like this, talk to us about what you do to make sure that every member of the family has an opportunity, has something that they can enjoy while they're in the park.
I think one of the things that makes Dollywood Parks and Resorts so special is the multi-generational family experience that comes with grandma and grandpa and children coming to visit us. And, my wife and I had 3 kids. We have, when you come to a place like this and you're pushing a stroller, use of space is really, really important. You guys might, it's so funny, my wife, as we were walking up, she said, was that barn always there? And it was hidden behind one of the game structures that were in the center, and we created a more open venue to be able to have some walk around space for kids. But if you've ever visited Wildwood Grove in the summertime, the splash pad area that's up there is one of the most fun places to sit down and watch the littles play. And we're creating a new splash pad down here as well in Country Fairs. And a sea of color all around you that will certainly liven up one of the original areas that existed here when we opened 40 years ago. And just really, really excited about the completeness of everything. And, Cindy McCormick makes all of these dreams come into a reality, and I'd like to let her speak to some of those things.
So as Eugene mentioned, Cindy McCormick is our VP of Guest Experience. So as families and visitors come through the park, the touches that they see are because of what Cindy is able to do and put into the park. And this is a very special area, again, for families. This is one project. So first, tell us a little bit about what's going on with this one project.
So we are just so grateful that our leadership committed some funds to refresh this area. Like Eugene said, this is one of the 2 areas of our park that really seeks to entertain families with children. And so this area needs to be celebrated. And what we did when we looked at this project was said, the general theme is so fun. It's a country fair. It has lots of stars and stripes and fun in it. It feels very much Americana. And so we held on to the things that were already great and we just expanded on that. We have literally, except for that big celebration hall barn, which we renovated last year, we have literally touched every structure in this area. We, because of our age, had some rotten wood and areas that needed to be replaced. And so we've literally, this team of our internal group and some local partnerships really got together and have worked hard this winter to replace all the rotten wood, look at all the lighting, and put a fresh coat of paint on everything. So we put new and brighter colors into place, some of which you're already seeing, and some remain. They're coming soon. So all new graphics are in this space, and we're really excited to just take a look at this space and make sure we're providing the right level of comfort and leisure for our families. The area behind me is the barn, and Leah has been here for a minute, but what we did was we added a couple of those wing roofs, we call them shed roofs, on the sides to bring more shade to the space and just anchor this area a little more. So when you come back for opening, this will continue to have changed, and I can't wait for you to come back and see it. So it's a lot of fun.
And we'll also add that this area will have a special overlay during our Harvest Festival and then also during our Christmas Festival. So can you talk a little bit about that with the refresh here, what that also means for the festival?
Yeah, so as you know, Harvest Festival is a great time to be at Dollywood, and this area in particular is going to be fun this fall. It's called Candy Corn Country. So I don't know if you like candy corn or you love to talk about how much you don't like candy corn, but everybody either way likes to talk about candy corn. So this area makes something fun like candy come to life in a way. There will be candy corn people, there will be a candy corn silo and a big pinwheel and some big graphics, and so it's going to be a whole lot of fun. There will be some pennants and banners, and so just a big graphic overlay and lots of fun photo ops to celebrate fall here. And then and then at Christmas, as you may have seen before, we light this area up in a beautiful way with peppermint, white, and red, and so you're seeing that kind of color explosion in the day and nighttime here.
And I was just going to mention, I know that I talked a lot about our 10-year rolling strategic plan. You know, there's been a lot of rides that have gone past their useful life. I know, Johnny, you hear a lot from your fans, you know, talking about the Dizzy Disc had to come out. You know, it's really important for us to be able to deliver our attractions consistently. And when something goes beyond its useful life, it's gotta come out, because it puts stress on our maintenance team to think about not having a ride available to our guests. But I promise you, we're paying particular attention to this area in our 10-year plan, and we're going to be replacing those attractions with some fun experiences, you know, between now and 2034, because we get to do our refresh now to our board of directors this May.
All right, so do we have any questions? Let's be covering it all, guys. Great job. Okay, so this area is getting refreshed. We also have another area close by that's getting a refresh up in the village. So we're going to take a walk up this way, and we're going to go to the right behind Temples and around the carousel. That way you'll see another new thing that we've added here, which will be a new pathway, which some of you may remember. I've been calling it the new old pathway. If you've been coming to Dollywood for a while, you'll remember that pathway over here as well as you work your way around, and we'll work to in front of what will become the Imagination Playhouse.
So you can see with the construction, this little section of games has been completely removed, but the building here to the left, you can see, has been redone as well. We'll walk over and see if we can get a little look at this. So remember, this is where they used to have the giant crane machine, the skee ball, and just kind of just the oddball games. They've moved what was there in the center over to this section here. Got the more country fair style games going. And then you can see the blue ribbon pavilion has been revamped. Hopefully they'll be using this year That is a building. They used to do a lot of buffets in there, and then it just kind of became a private event. And then now it looks like it might be getting used this year. We're gonna head our way up here. You can see Temples is getting a little bit of work on the outside done. We're gonna be making our way over here to that new pathway, what was an old pathway. They said they currently have 114 different projects going on simultaneously. Some big, some small, but that's a lot of work to tackle. This is the angle from the top here. That's where the basketball game used to sit. So we're gonna make our way. It looks like they're setting up over here in front of the Heart Song. But you can see they've got a new entrance for it. Which looks really nice. Now we're gonna come over here and set up.
A lot of that area is dedicated to families and having fun. So the theater behind us was known as the Heart Song Theater. During the summer, a lot of families would come here because we would have the Imagination Playhouse, and we would have 3 stories on rotation, 3 plays that were based on books from the Imagination Library. And we wanted to be able to give families an opportunity, if they weren't here in the summer, to be able to take that, and for families, that love of reading is important. The Imagination Library and the Imagination Playhouse can help encourage that and inspire that for families. So we knew that was something important for us to be able to place here into the park for a longer period of time. Obviously, the Imagination Library is very important to Dolly as well. So we have taken the Heart Song movie. It is being remastered, and it will move appropriately to the Dolly Parton experience, and it will play in that area. So that allows us to be able to turn this theater into the Imagination Playhouse and to offer those stories to children throughout the year and for families to enjoy those. So Pete, we talk about that, the Imagination Library and its importance to Dolly and being able to have that into the park, but to have it now for the majority of the season as part of the 40th anniversary. Just talk a little bit about Dolly, the Imagination Library, and now being able to have this most of the season.
Well, we've talked about this being the 40th anniversary of Dollywood. It's also the 30th anniversary of the Imagination Library program. So that started 30 years ago right here in Sevier County. And it is such an important part of what it is we do and what the Dollywood Foundation provides, providing a book a month to children in the locations that have the Imagination Library from the time they're born until they enter school, so that they can develop a love of reading, that parents can read to their children. I mean, what an amazing idea and what an amazing program, and how it's evolved from here to all 50 states to all of the locations that are within the Commonwealth of the UK. I mean, just an amazing program. We've talked about doing this for a while. And the opportunity was during this anniversary and their anniversary, being able to provide something for smaller kids to do in other festivals of the year, all the way through the end of our regular season. It provided us the opportunity to share more from the Imagination Library and to really have a home base here on Park for the Imagination Library program.
And as Pete mentioned, it's the 30th anniversary of the Imagination Library. And Eugene, you play an important role in that. Tell us a little bit more about the program and it reaching that milestone, and then again, about what it means to have it here in the park.
So you think I have enough fun serving as the president of the Dollywood Company, but I also serve as the treasurer of the foundation. And for me, it's great fun to be on the profit side of the business, but the more we make, the more good we can do in the world. We're actually delivering 2.5 million books a month. 1 in 6 eligible children in the United States right now receive a book from the Imagination Library. And with growth that's coming, over the next 5 years, that's going to go to 1 in 4 children in the U.S. and just so proud of what we did in the state of California. We did bilingual books for the first time because 51% of the eligible children in California are Latino, and it gives us a chance to, prove out being welcoming to all people for Dolly, and it gives us a template moving forward. It's really, really exciting. If Dolly were here and you'd ask her what she's most proud of, it's not her songs, and it's not all of the good that she's done in the world in so many ways, but it's the Imagination Library and how she honors her father, and because he grew up illiterate, and that was why she started the Imagination Library. So for us having, something for the littles to do all year long, until Santa comes, of course, we'll make way for that. But it's exciting to see. And I know what you're thinking. There's no way in 14 days all of this stuff is going to get complete, but it's amazing how it really does. I'm often asked if I'm nervous about getting all these things done, and I promise you, after this is my 40th opening year in this industry, it all comes together. The new portal in Country Fair, Wes mentioned that. That's a way for us to make easier access, right next to the carousel. It's the new old path. It used to be there. We rent more ECVs than anyone else in the country. So people that visit here sometimes need mobility assistance, and it always made me a little bit nervous with that hill getting into Country Fair. So this gives a more gentle slope and more accessible for all.
And as we mentioned, Cindy has fingerprints all over the area and is working to make sure that the guest experience as you come through is bright and lively. So tell us a little bit about the work that's going on. As Eugene mentioned, the portal now with the signage going down into Country Fair, and then here with the Imagination Playhouse and throughout the village.
Yeah, hopefully you've had a chance to take a look at some of the posters that are here. I think Wes is going to share those images with you so you can see them up close. But we took a nice look when we had the opportunity to rebrand this theater, and as you can see, all the graphics are fun. The storybooks come to life here, and you can kind of see these characters are taking over a little bit. So all these illustrations are directly from the books, from the Imagination Library. So in that refresh, we're really focusing trim on looking at the edges of books and just making that a really fun environment for children. And this area of town was in need of some care, and so we took the opportunity, all of the buildings on this end, including Temples, the Carousel building, this theater, and this stretch of buildings here have all been refurbed and are getting fresh paint on them. So as Eugene said, as we come around this area and see the Country Fair, we have a brand new entrance, and it's a much easier slope and easier to navigate for all of our guests, considerably focusing on guests with those strollers and the ECVs. Like Eugene said, this is a nice little winding path, and we have a brand new portal coming into the land that really helps guests know where to go and celebrates the entry of our fun Country Fair.
So obviously a lot of work being done on this side of the park. What questions do y'all have for the folks so far? Y'all are doing really well. No questions.
I have one.
Oh, yes.
Will the Imagination Playhouse, will it stay this way, or will it go back to being Heart Song at some point?
It's going to stay this way.
Going to stay this way, okay.
Yeah, this is going to be its home.
Okay.
And we put the Heart Song movie, it's being re-scripted, and it's going to be in, it's going to be in the Dream Song Theater.
Okay.
Yeah, from now on.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about how much it costs to do the renovations for the Imagination Playhouse and all of the renovations in the Country Fair as a whole?
You're going to catch me off guard, so I'm going to let Cindy try to help me answer that question in terms of the dollar value associated with the Imagination Playhouse.
So directly with the we're sharing the mic. Directly with this Imagination Playhouse, we're at around $1 million. What we didn't tell you is the great work our Paige Bells and our entertainment team is doing on the inside. There's a brand new set and a new look for kids. And so this is a fully new experience. There will be 3 shows inside that play in tandem. And so a nice investment here to really support the Imagination Library and how its footprint works inside a place called Dollywood. Right. Penguin Books and Random House are a part sponsor of this effort too. They support us annually. Obviously, we're one of their biggest customers, and they're a really important partner to us.
Any other questions? Yes.
I talked about the renovations. What's usually the last thing you guys make sure to do before you say, okay, we're ready?
Last thing who wants to take that one? Last thing you do before you say, okay, it's ready.
I don't think we ever finish.
No.
You know, one of our core tenets as a company is constant improvement. So we're always thinking about ways that we can get better. And you heard me mention in the celebrity theater, just a really easy way to do that. If you walk the grounds and listen to your host, or you walk the grounds and talk to your guests, that's where all the ideas come. So I don't think we'll ever finish getting there.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, now we're going to head up through the valley. They're doing some seal coating there, so just kind of follow one of us and we'll kind of guide you the way we need to go.
So before we break off here, you can see they've completely redone Heart Song. This is going to be a permanent structure. It'll change during the Christmas celebration. But other than that, you can see it has been done really nice. They've got images from the books all on the outsides of the buildings here. It's going to be great for the little ones. And again, it's going to be a permanent thing here for the entirety of the season, except for during Christmas where they'll do the Santa Claus meet and greet. So we're going to mosey our way now to the other side of the park here, heading into Craftsman Valley area. They've got a little bit of work going on pretty much everywhere. You can see some construction here on the concrete right next to Iron Horse. So here's a sight you'll probably never see again, is the pond here has been drained by the grist mill. Usually that's filled with the water. You can see it has a little bit of a flow through it. Looks like our next stop up here is right at the Blazing Fury. So we'll get some updates on what's been happening with that ride. You know, it's been closed for several months. So hopefully that will be up and operational by pass holder preview. Looks like over here they are redoing the bird enclosures. Looks like they've opened up the space a little bit in them. And the next stop right up here.
So obviously a lot of construction as we work our way up through Craftsman's Valley. A lot that you'll see behind us here at the Wings of America show and the stage, a lot of refurbishment going on there with extended and new areas for the birds. So that will be that's a great family satisfier with the show and our partnership with the American Eagle Foundation. So Eugene, talk to us a little bit about what's going on there, but again, the relationship with the American Eagle Foundation.
You know, obviously we work very closely with Jessica Hall, who's the executive director of the American Eagle Foundation. Really proud that we're the largest American Eagle sanctuary here in the U.S. We had a member of our Hershon animal care team, Eric Rose. He joined the board of directors for the American Eagle Foundation, and with his insight into animal care, we're developing the renovation project behind you that's expanding the home of where our birds of prey live. Really, really exciting that Challenger is coming home to stay. He's gone through some medical surgeries and helping his eyesight, and he's going to remain here at home for the 40th anniversary, which is really, really cool. And then you all probably, I see green. I hope that means you're Go Eagles. You know, Lincoln actually was contracted to fly at the Philadelphia Eagles games, and all of that helps the American Eagle Foundation relieve the pressure of COVID. They were under some funding issues, and we're splitting the renovation cost associated with the new home that the birds were going to come to. So, Blazing Fury, hot topic, right?
There it is. So, we are in Craftsman Valley, so a lot of classics here. We talked about Challenger coming back for the anniversary to be part of the show. Obviously, Blazing Fury, a classic attraction for families, for every guest. So we had to close a little bit early last year. So Eugene, tell us a little bit about that, the updates going on with Blazing Fury.
One of the more difficult and challenging things that we do is to operate our attractions at excellence consistently. And Blazing Fury is a 50-year-old attraction, and I know there was a lot of angst about us delivering exactly what our sister park, Silver Dollar City, did in Branson, but I can assure you that this will remain as it is, although we're working very hard to refresh this attraction from our cars to some of the theming and in the queue lines, and even improving some of the track. You guys probably haven't noticed that we've been redoing track for the last 4 years, but the waterfall was a beloved part of this attraction, and we're making that come back to life. So I think it's going to be a great celebration, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of the patients for the guests. As we work through this process, it's important for us to deliver not only at excellence, but safety is absolutely paramount to what we do, and we want to make sure that we're operating this thing at excellence for the next 50 years. So I promise you, Blazing Fury is coming back to life, and it will be as early as humanly possible, but hopefully by our true anniversary date.
And just speak, we have the lift at Lightning Rod. We have projects that are ongoing throughout the park. Again, it goes back to uptime and be able to provide that experience for guests when they come. So talk to us again about that part of the guest experience and ensuring that when a guest arrives, they are able to do what they would like to do.
I always say the people that arrive on a Monday should enjoy the same types of experiences, and when people arrive on a Sunday, it should be consistent year round. And we had a long battle with challenges related to a launch coaster, Lightning Rod, since its inception in 2016. It's really a hard thing. Its complexity with innovation, becomes the most challenging thing. We went from a launch system to a chain-driven system, coming over that first bunny hop at the top of the hill at 13 miles an hour, whether it's a launch or whether it's a chain. But the biggest difference for us, 1 million more riders a year rode Lightning Rod. And that's an amazing accomplishment for our maintenance team to be able to deliver consistently on that attraction. And it's fun for us to be able to hear it. And I hear Lightning Rod from my office and know when it's running, so it makes me happy. I'm sorry, what did you say?
How many people rode it last season?
Just almost 2 million people a year.
Which is an extra million.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, we're going to head. Oh, yes.
I was thinking, sorry. Can you talk about Daredevil Falls and what's going on there?
Well, like everything we do, it comes in phases. We have to always advance our older attractions to deliver at excellence, and there'll be some secrets, popping through along the way, heading towards a bigger reveal in 2026.
Okay.
But I promise you that's gonna be a nice refresh that I think you'll be pleased with. Again, staying true to the overall ride experience.
Awesome. We're going to move to one more stop, and then we'll head to one of the theaters. So we'll continue up and around through Wilderness Pass to the new Wilderness Pass restaurant. You might see some more projects as you go, I guarantee it.
So we're up here at the top of Craftsman Valley, turning the corner, and you can see Tennessee Tornado has got a nice, fresh coat of paint. It looks really good. Looks brand new again. It's got a nice, almost like a real dark red tint to it. Nice to see that the coaster's getting some love. It is a very old attraction. Now we're gonna make our way up to the new restaurant here in Wilderness Pass. So the fence is down. You can see a lot of the structure here. It is a big building. So we'll come over this way, see how much we can see of it. Get our way over here.
All right, so I know we're getting close to lunchtime, and this probably is not going to help, but at lunchtime, you'll get to sample some of the items that will be served at the new Wilderness Pass restaurant that you can see behind us here. So, Eugene, first of all, the design of this building is very reminiscent of the area, specifically Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Tell us a little bit first about when you're looking at a construction project like this and the design of it, how important it is, especially at a park like Dollywood with the beauty of the Great Smoky Mountains all around us, how you take that and incorporate it into what we do and make it fit so seamlessly.
You know, it's really important overall, first, when you think about inviting someone over to your house to come visit, that you probably need to be ready to serve them lunch. And lunch comes the same time every day, so it's important for us from a capacity perspective, Wes, to make sure we're being able to deliver on the demands of the day, depending on how many people are in the park. And we try to connect our stories to Dolly Parton's love of the Smoky Mountains. I mean, she spent her life growing up here, just about 8 miles from the office, and you know, she's written thousands of songs related to her love of the Smoky Mountains. And I serve on the Friends of the Smokies board, which helps fund projects for the national park. And you know, for us, this pays a tribute to Dolly's love of the Smoky Mountains, but when you go inside and you have a visual of the rendering, you'll really see it's playing a nod to the national park. And they're such a important part of the overall experience for Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. More than 12 million people a year come to see us from all over the United States to get a chance to not only enjoy Dollywood Parks and Resorts, but to get a chance to love on the national parks here, which is an incredible experience and a great benefit for us.
So we've been talking about guest experience, and this is one of those things that came from, again, listening to guests and what they were telling us about culinary locations and their locations within the park. So tell us a little bit about, listening and taking that feedback and transforming an area to make it be what our guests need to be able to satisfy their experience.
You know, it's funny, if you spend any time, you'll kind of know I'm a data junkie, so being able to study the ridership at the different experiences of the park and at what time of the day they're the busiest, it sort of allows you to pre-plan what areas of the park you need help in terms of when's the max rider and where are they at lunchtime to be ready to go. And we invited a consultant out to the park to help define our future on where we're going. Listening and learning to others and broadening our perspective, I think, is a really, really good approach. It's not just about how we feel internally, but it's about using the expertise of others and broadening your horizons. And this location was actually one of the hot spots that we needed to rectify in terms of our being able to offer a food, because although the doghouse is great, it's difficult to serve a lot of families out of the doghouse. This particular restaurant will give us about 400 meals an hour capacity. We'll have really a beautiful vista to be able to enjoy on a patio, 400 seats. So it's really going to add a nice feature to the overall park. And of course, we're going to have a nice water feature. Can't be in the Smoky Mountains and visiting our national park without enjoying some of the waterfalls.
So Patrice is with us. So Patrice is our Vice President of Culinary Services. So Patrice, tell us a little bit about what your team has to think about when it comes to planning a new menu for a restaurant like this. And as we said, you'll get to sample some of that in a little bit, and they can tell you a little bit about the specifics. But just generally, what goes into planning that?
So similar to what Eugene said, we do use guest feedback that we get throughout the year to see what items are the most popular and items that we don't have. We get a lot of requests for more healthy food, and that really helped us with our focal piece of equipment in the location. It's a rotisserie. So for the first time on this park, we'll be doing rotisserie chicken. We'll also have the ability to do different proteins like salmon and pork in the rotisserie. We also have a smoker here because, quite frankly, everyone who comes to us loves our smoked meats. We'll have a braised beef at the location. We'll have a pulled pork and the rotisserie chicken. We are going to have catfish because, again, everyone likes dark catfish. We thought about doing trout, but the catfish is hands down the most important with our guests. And our sides are really all sides that we are doing throughout the park, but also a couple of new ones. You know, the hush puppies that we have out in the park, especially down at Front Porch, are really popular. They'll be here as well. Our famous mac and cheese that's at Miss Lillian's will be here as well. We also have some corn salad that we stole from our sister park, Silver Dollar City. It's a healthy cold salad that will be available. So we really took the input from the guests and tried to fit in the stuff that is the most important, as well as the gaps we had in some of the healthier items. So the team does the equipment plan based on the menu.
All right, any questions? Yes.
Can you tell me about the budget for this location and what the construction timeline has looked like?
It takes us several years to get this process going, and we're spending $6.5 million on this restaurant this year. And everyone's probably saying, well, when is it going to open? Well, I think it's going to open in a couple of days. Hopefully by mid-April it'll be up and running and getting a chance for our guests to enjoy it for the strong summer season.
Thank you.
Other questions?
I was going to ask when it was going to open.
Perfect. Yes.
So this area, it seems like it changes every year. Depending on where they're going to keep it. Here permanently.
Yeah, I don't think I can ever guarantee that we're not going to evolve, Kyle. I mean, I think it's one of the things that we do best. You know, as we get bigger and grow, you need to find more elbow room, you know, to be able to serve the guests that are coming. You know, as Cindy and I were walking the construction project just a couple of days, if you all had turned your camera around and saw this beautiful vista that's behind us, you know, I think that might be a great activation for Christmas time and great pumpkin luminites, to be able to take advantage of that topography and this treescape to be able to add to the festivities. So a little bit more growth. I can't say that this will stay stagnant. I think we're an evolving entity. We're not a place that's going to sit still. Plus, I like to have people wonder what's up my sleeve and what's going to be next.
Any others?
Would you say it's more stressful planning something like this versus an attraction like Wild Eagle or Big Bear Mountain?
You know, I think the project development process that we do for an attraction, you know, or a retail shop or a culinary operation is very similar. You know, we have a strong playbook, and we create a strategy and try to create objectives that we're trying to solve for. What's the problem that you're trying to solve for? And then we create solutions based on what you're trying to overcome from an attractions perspective. You know, for instance, when I talked about Blazing Fury, you know, coming back to life, it's one of the most iconic roller coaster attractions that we have here. The problem statement is, how do you make sure that lives on for the next 50 years? Because Grandma and Grandpa that are here today remember that being their first roller coaster, and it's important for us to honor the tradition and the family experiences that they've had here, so to be able to advance that. But it's very similar in nature.
Yeah, oftentimes healthy food and accessibility of food in amusement parks can kind of be competing factors. What kind of price point can guests expect when they come to this restaurant?
It's going to vary. You know, generally when you think about our meal structure, it's generally $18 to $22 or $23. That can expand and contract based on how hungry you are.
Right.
You know, you have great choices, and we a lot of our offerings are done a la carte for that reason, because it lets you scale up and down according to, what you want. And everyone talks about healthy foods and making sure that that's available, in terms of our offering. But I think what we talk about mostly is having unexpectedly great food. And if the benefit is having a healthy option that delivers on our brand promise of having unexpectedly great food, that's a double check, Mark, in terms of what we're trying to accomplish.
And are the menu items going to be available through meal plan bundles?
We don't do meal plans on this property. We do have a great opportunity at Splash Country to have a dining meal. We haven't been brave enough to add dining meals to Dollywood yet, simply because we're running behind on our capacity. So if you invite more business that you have capability to deliver, some bad things are going to happen from an overall experience perspective. So it's a fine balance between what we can do and what we should do and what's right for the guest experience.
Thank you.
Okay, now we will make our way down through Timber Canyon to the Pines Theater.
All right, so as we're heading down, you can see right here, according to the renderings, the fountain is going to remain. It's going to have a different look to it, but there will still be a fountain here inside of the plaza.
So of course we will be here.
And they said it should be opened up in close to mid-April. It's not going to open with the park, but it shouldn't be too late in the season, thankfully. So from here we are making our way over to the Pines Theater. I believe we are going to get treated to a performance, and then after that we're going to get some lunch and probably finish up with the last few projects they have going on.
And has actually been part of our entertainment team as a performer, stage manager. You've done it all, I think. So we're very excited to have her to be able to talk to you a little bit about the new show we're going to offer this year and how her experiences through the park have helped her in being able to put that together. But with this being the 40th anniversary, we'll have a special show later on this year that will open on May 3rd called Play On. And that show will be a retrospective and a look back at all of the family favorites that we've had here, all of the shows through the years in that. And we're very excited to be able to offer that. So Eugene, this is Dolly Parton's theme park, and we say this all the time, that entertainment is a brain pillar in what we do. It's so important to the guest experience. Tell us what we go through to ensure that an entertainment product is top-notch and is, honors Dolly and what she brings to entertainment.
Yeah, I think the one thing for sure that everyone probably realizes that live entertainment is a really, really important component to everything we do within the entertainment area. And the production quality of the show is terribly important to us. And if you think about From the Heart as an example, last year we opened a new production show that won Best Show in the industry. And we were really, really proud of that. But it comes from working with the right talent. John Diedrich, who helped write From the Heart, did an incredible job of capturing Dolly's life journey and putting it to words and then to music was kind of an exceptional process to go through. And I know, Paige and all of the entertainment team who participated in the growth of that evolution is really, really cool, but we can't rest. And oftentimes you think about the advancement of the different shows, you might have fan favorites that show up that have to eventually evolve out and time out over time. And we realize that's a really tough and difficult decision to make for some. But for us, you mentioned Play On, is going to be another Broadway production quality show that's going to have some really fun moments, and it's going to be a history of where we've been and I think hopefully where we're going overall in entertainment.
And you mentioned From the Heart, and that will be part of the I Will Always Love You Festival when it will open on March 14th. But that show was last year's best new show within the entire industry, so it really does underscore what Eugene is saying about the effort that we go to ensure that our show products are high quality, and again, Play On will be the same way. I want to bring Paige up so she can tell you a little bit about her background here at Dollywood. You've been a performer, as I mentioned, and now you're the entertainment director. So tell everyone a little bit about what that background, the historical knowledge you have of this program, how that helped you in creating this new program and bringing back things that probably you performed in yourself through the years.
And it's been a very long time since I performed, for sure. But it also feels like yesterday. And what a privilege it's been to be able to be here and to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Dollywood and 40 years of world-class entertainment. And you mentioned Play On, and this is our new production that will be able to showcase our most beloved shows and characters and experiences, and we're really planning on packing as much as we can into a 35-minute show. So it's going to be full, and there'll be 8 performers, a live band, and really what we're most excited about is to be able to share it with our guests, because some of our guests have grown up with us, and they came when they were young, and now they're bringing their children and their grandchildren, and it's been so special to just be a part of that. So really, and that's what Dollywood's all about, right? And what Play On is all about, and how we created that. It's really about creating those special moments of joy that we get to share, but that they just continue to play on and on throughout our lives.
That's awesome. So we have a group called Wilder Flower. I think they're going to come out now, and they're going to perform a couple of songs for you. They'll be here during our Flower and Food Festival. They are from Western North Carolina, so we're excited to have them here to be a part of today so they can perform for you. Then after they perform, we're going to have a video that runs you through the entertainment highlights for the year. So the shows that we've mentioned. We also have a 40th anniversary themed drone show that will take place during our summer festival. So a lot of excitement within our entertainment team for the year. And then after the video ends, and we can send that to you digitally as well if you are interested in that. Once that ends, we have some folks from Chris Barandi's Dog Show, which was a huge highlight last year. They were unable to be with us for the entire summer, so our guests, again, going back to guest experience, our guests said, we want to see the dog show all summer long, so we're going to have them here for the entire summer. So we'll have one of their performers come out for a few minutes, and then we'll head over to lunch at Front Porch. So we're going to clear the way.
Thank you, Molly. That's great details. I was so scared I was going to have to remember them. So remember what she said. And we're the Wilder Flower. We're excited to be a part of the Flower and Food Festival. It's very fitting. And down the sea, sail away, kill off the hours.
Bringing something back, so you folks will know that I'm proud of you, as you've always been a fan.
going on this season. One thing that we need to touch on, so it's the 40th anniversary of Dollywood Theme Park, and we mentioned earlier the 30th anniversary of the Imagination Library. It's also the 25th anniversary for Dollywood Splash Country. It's the 10th season, or 10th year of operation for Dollywood's Dream World Resort and Spa, and the first full year was last year for Hartsville Lodge Resort. So there's a lot going on with the properties all across the Dollywood property, and we're very excited about this year. So now I'm going to introduce Sarah Carson and her dog Joker. And Sarah and her dog Hero actually appeared on season 12 of America's Got Talent, and they finished 5th during that season. So just an amazing performance. We are excited to have her on the Stud Dog Experience with us for the entire summer festival this year. So I'm going to step out of the way because I'm afraid I may get hit by a flying hooch. So.
So this has been a really neat experience of getting to venture around the park while it's been closed, check out all the new construction updates, and just kind of get a glimpse of what they do behind the scenes to get this wonderful place up and ready for us each and every season. So we're going to be heading in here to kind of get a little buffet of things. We got a whole lot of selections set out here for us. So we'll go through and see what all they got to offer. So we're going to try to attempt to do this camera in hand. So barbecue braised beef. We're definitely going to try one of those. Barbecue smoked pork butt. Sounds delicious. This is the crispy fried catfish. Intriguing. We'll be trying it. Here we have some country sausage. This is a corn salad, which we're going to opt out of that. And then also a kale garden salad. Got sweet yams, spicy collards.
I ran out of room here.
So we're going to try one of the mac and cheeses. No grits, but definitely hush puppies. So then here you got your desserts. There's a pineapple upside down cake and a banana bread pudding. Alright, so we ended up getting the catfish, the sausage, the pulled pork, the pork ends, some mac and cheese, and hush puppies. There were 3 or 4 different salad choices, some grits, which you can see John ended up picking up, and a few dessert options as well. Alright, I think first thing first, gotta go mac and cheese. This is something that usually the cheese is kind of lacking on. It could be cheesier. Good seasoning to it, good flavor. You can just see it's not real cheesy. Just gonna go through and sample a little bit of everything real quick here and let you guys know what I think, and then chew it all down. Hush puppies you really can't go wrong with.
I think I'm going to try.
Oh, the smoked sausage.
Sausage.
Really good. That's what I just tried. It's delicious.
Brian says it's good. Brian did not lie.
Now this is the, I believe, the pulled pork.
Really, really good. Next is this. It's like
That was the braised beef.
Salad, corn salad, I believe. This is the one that they said that they borrowed from their sister park, Silver Dollar City.
blocking the whole camera. The braised beef, absolutely delicious.
That's good.
This is a...
It's got onions in it, which I'm not a big fan of onions, but they're not real bad. Corn, cucumber. There's some bell pepper in there. But it's good.
Next option, I think, is the pork butt. It's got a good smoky flavor to it without being too overpowering.
Cheese grits.
Barbecue sauce is real nice on top.
Oh, those are good.
Now, this is what I'm most curious about. You got catfish on it.
Wow. That is really, really good. Cheese grits. By far my favorite thing today so far. Wow.
It vaguely reminded
Really
me
good.
of the fish and chips that they had over there at the Market Square.
I'm filming, but I'm not live. That's good too.
I'll do one more bite of the catfish here.
Yeah, I like that as well. All right,
Catfish
next
is
up,
good.
I'm going to try some of the catfish.
I'm not the biggest seafood fan, so if it has a real
I
fishy
do
taste
like
to
catfish.
it, I'm not going to be a big...
I'm
This is
picky
good.
about my catfish,
It's really
so
good.
we're going to try this and see if it's any good.
Yeah, I like it. I like the breading on it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, overall, if these are the food options
Yeah,
that
it's
we're
not-
going to get
not
at that
bad at
new
all.
restaurant, don't hesitate to stop there because every bit of this has been
That's really
delicious.
good. I would.
So,
Yeah.
overall, I'd have to say, every one of the options, the mac and cheese could use just a little bit more cheese in
This
it.
is
Other than
the
that,
pork.
not disappointed with any of these
I'm
food
assuming
options
it
I
has the
grabbed.
same sauce on it that the,
Alright, so I've actually never had grits, and I tried some of John's cheesy grits I have here, and the cheese in this is what I would almost expect to be inside the mac and cheese. Those cheese grits are really nice. Almost has the consistency of like a mashed potato though. They're kind of thick, but great flavor to those.
Opportunity for you all to see everything that we have going on, the hard work our teams are putting in to make sure we're ready for a great 40th anniversary season. First of all, how about the food?
really good.
Awesome. So like we said, that's a sampling of some of the items you'll be able to experience at the Wilderness Pass restaurant. I have a couple of the folks from Culinary who will talk a bit about that in a moment. I do want to recognize a special group of folks joining us for lunch today. They're probably all going to kill me. But we have 8 of our 15 employees who have been at Dollywood either since 1986 when we opened or prior during the Silver Dollar City years. They're here for lunch today. I had to bribe them with lunch and not tell them exactly what was going on today. But I've had a lot of requests from many of you in the room to talk with some of our 40-year hosts who have been here the entire time of Dollywood to get their perspective and what they have seen. So they're going to be available after lunch. I don't know how much some of them will want to talk to you, but they're available. But I will say, if you've visited this park at any point in its 40 years or prior from some of them, anything you've done or experienced, fingerprints from these hands have been on it, and they are part of the reason that this park is what it is today and will continue to be what it is and wins awards, and we're known for our friendliness because of people like this who have made their entire career here at Dollywood. So if y'all can, give them a special round of applause. We appreciate what they do. I would ask them to stand up, but I don't know that they will do that. They may raise their hand, but we will get you connected with them if you'd like to speak with any of them for any of your stories you're working on. And then I know they'll probably quickly want to get back to work because they also just want to get back to their jobs, but they might be a little bit shy too. Kathy's laughing. All right, so when we talk about Culinary at Dollywood, it's another one of the brand pillars of which we are known for. Our team does an amazing job of taking influences of the Appalachian region and really infusing that into what we do here. So I have Aaron Banks with me first. So he is the Director of Culinary Services. So Aaron is, has a great career in culinary services. and can tell you a little bit about what you are sampling today. So Aaron, can you tell us a little bit about what they have?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello. So, this is a fun menu to put together. So we were really excited when we were able to introduce this a couple of weeks ago, and especially today with you all. The showpiece we're not able to showcase today because that is a rotisserie chicken that we're really excited about. But we're still waiting for that piece of equipment to come in and for us to test and work out the recipe and whatnot. But when we do open the restaurant in the spring, we'll be able to come back and enjoy that. But we're sampling today some of the staples that we keep to the region. You have the catfish, we did smoked sausage, braised smoked beef. So we actually braised that beef and some broth and some other goodies for about 6 hours. We'll let it cool down, and then we put it in the smoker for a couple hours to get some of that smoke flavor. And then also, you can't go without being in East Tennessee without tasting pulled pork, right? So we smoked that for about 8.5 hours, and then we hand pull that once it's all ready to come out of the smoker. From side dishes that you're sampling today, we did everything. So cheesy grits, you gotta have that right in East Tennessee. Molasses, baked beans, that is like the combination of multiple beans that we have that we put like a little tangy sauce to get that spiciness. Collard greens, there's only one way to make collard greens, and that's the southern way, so that's the way we did. And add a little spice to that. Hush puppies, of course, and then we have the yams, and then the white cheddar mac and cheese that we make in-house. So that is a very delicious product. We definitely try to keep it on more on the healthier side. So with the rotisserie chicken, we consider that as more of a healthier option. The corn salad that you have today, that's a healthier option, and also the kale salad. And then we have a vegan chili that we offer today that we consider more of people who want to keep more on meat, less meat, or no meat at all.
And Aaron, we've got obviously the 40th anniversary season, so they've been working on a lot of special items for that, so I think you're excited about a lot of those. So why don't you preview a few of those for us as well, if you can.
Oh. Absolutely, no problem. Yeah, we're excited about introducing some new food items for the 25 season. So we have, it's unique to keep the brand of the logo of the butterfly. So we developed a butterfly pretzel. So we're going to offer a butterfly sandwich in 2 locations. One, ham and beans, which would be the chicken salad sandwich. And then 2 here at Front Porch, which is a caprese type salad. So it is like basil and mozzarella and tomatoes. And this sandwich is really, really good. Then also we have a chicken club sandwich too, as well. And we have a brisket cheesesteak. We're going to offer that at Hickory House. We have chicken and dumplings. We're going to add that back to the menu at Ham and Beans. And then I got to talk about the hand-breaded fried chicken. So it's going to be offered, and we started this last year at Lillian's, but it is the Aunt Granny's recipe. So it is absolutely delicious. From Iwali, that's the first festival we're kicking off this year. So we have a brisket French onion soup at Hickory House. I'm telling you, it's good. You're gonna want that. We have a meatball over polenta. We're gonna offer that here at Front Porch. And one of my favorites, a pink donut ice cream sandwich. It looks good, it's messy, but it's delicious, and it looks good and it's messy. And then the last thing is the sausage and cabbage skillet. We'll offer that here at the Market Square, so the big skillet. So we got this cabbage, some nice like cumin and paprika and chili powder and sausage and all that fun stuff. So we got a lot of cool things coming up, and then even for, we'll talk about Flower and Food later, but we're introducing 44 new items for Flower and Food Festival.
44, that's awesome. Man, you saw 40 and you said, no, we're doing 44.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I also have Matt Foreman. He is the Director of Culinary Operations. And so we recently were at Wilderness Pass Restaurant earlier in the tour, Matt. So tell us a little bit about, from your side, when we have a new operation like that, what goes into that, the excitement of that, the challenges of that as you prepare for a new year with a new restaurant opening.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. When it comes to new restaurants, it's really interesting because we are in our own little environment here. So normally you would see brick and mortar it too much thought, it's going to open when it opens. Unlike anywhere else, we have many other restaurants that we have to manage at the same time. So a big portion of the excitement for our team is one, being able to create something completely new. We're starting with rotisserie chicken, which is going to be a completely new item for the park. We've got a 5,300 square foot facility, which is unheard of for most standalone restaurants, and we're going to be able to just deliver a ton of great food for our guests. That doesn't come without any challenges, but the challenges are inherently with how we plan things. So you think about the menu, this menu was planned almost well over a year ago. Our training plans for the restaurant operations, they've been in development for the last couple of months. And even though the park hasn't been open, we've been simulating service style, and we've been going through the cooking process, and we've been practicing to ensure that what we deliver on day one is the same thing that we delivered 2 months ago, which is the same thing that we'll deliver here from now.
So again, it just goes to show culinary or operations, merchandise, every team here, our maintenance team, all the work that you see going on, all of these projects take a lot of effort from all of our folks here. They are years in the process and planning those. So, you know, what you've been able to see today is just a small portion of what goes on to making Dollywood operate every single day. So this concludes the tour. Aaron and Matt will be here if you have any specific questions for them about the culinary operations. As I mentioned, we have several 40th anniversary hosts who are here to be able to talk with you about their time here at the park. And then if anybody is interested, if you need any live shots, look lives, any additional interviews, Eugene is here. I see Neil, Pete, any of those folks, you can check with us. We'll be able to get you with them. And if there's any video you need in the park, just let us know. We can arrange that. There are printed press releases on the table just over here at the door, as well as a gift. You can select each from one side or the other, pick one of those items that you would have. We knew the weather could potentially be snowy, which it was on the day of the construction tour originally, so those might not be as applicable today, but still take one of those with you. And thank you for coming out and joining us. And we'll hopefully see all of you on Friday, March 14th. If you're looking to head out now, we've got folks who can help you out. If you need a ride on a golf cart, we can provide that as well. So we appreciate you and look forward to a great 40th anniversary season. Thank you.
All right, guys, that is going to wrap up today's video. And what a surreal experience that was. We got to go into Dollywood, and strangely enough, it was me and John, and then a bunch of the traditional news media. So being some of the only social media people from the YouTube community was a really cool experience. We got to check out, they have 114 projects that they're currently working on that they're gonna try to have finished, if not before park opens, shortly after. Things like the restaurant, the parking lot, they've got a little bit more time on those, but this was a really fun thing. We got to go in, see all the new projects, seen the country fair's getting that awesome facelift that it definitely deserves. Got to check out some of those new food items. So when you guys are coming here, I think they believe mid-April for the restaurant to open, that new Wilderness Pass restaurant will offer some amazing food selection. So don't sleep on that. Also, before I forget, I do also want to give a couple big shout outs, big thank yous. One to Miss Shelby for reaching out, Wes, and to Eugene, the president of the park. It was great getting to chit chat with you today, walk around the park, and get your insights on things. But with that, we will be back here, pass holder preview day, March 14th. It's 2.5, 3 weeks away. Cannot wait to get back and see the park in full operation. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, getting to see kind of what makes Dollywood tick during the off season and how they keep it expanding and keep it growing for you guys. But as always, make sure you guys stay tuned, stay subscribed, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.